What's going on, everybody? This is Brody from CrossbowExpert.com coming to you again today. And today we're going to look at a new scope in the crossbow market. Came out in 2020, Vortex Optics. They've been out of the crossbow game now for a little bit, but they're back in it with the Crossfire II 2-7 by 32 Crossfire II. Now this is a 30 millimeter scope. It's pretty unique in a couple of different ways. We're going to open up the box and show you what comes with it. But so far it's been pretty well received. We have a couple customers here at our shop that are shooting it, and they seem to like it pretty well. So I'm going to crack open the box here and kind of talk you through what comes with it. Super nice retail packaging here. Vortex has a really nice box. As soon as we crack it open, you can see they've got a display of the scope in there. And as we open it up even farther, we can start to unveil some of the goodies. Now, one of the things that's unique about this scope is Vortex actually includes a set of scope rings. Some high quality 30 millimeter scope rings, one on either side here. You're going to get a CR32 battery. That's for the red and green illumination. It is variable. One of the things that I like about this scope as opposed to some of the other scopes, some of the other scopes in the illumination, they have settings like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for brightness. Now, this scope has red and green, which isn't something new, but what I like about it is it's got variation, so you can turn it to just how bright you want it. There's no steps. It's a smooth transition. You're going to have a T15 Torx wrench here. That's for tightening down your scope rings. Owner's manual, little microfiber lens cleaning cloth, little warranty card. This here says past inspection, personally inspected with care by Ben S. Thank you, Ben. And the scope itself. And something else pretty cool that comes with this scope kit that I actually really enjoy is this really nice padded neoprene scope cover. So you can throw this over your scope as you're shouldering your bow into your stand, as you're storing it, whatever. Keep your crossbow scope nice and safe. That's actually really a useful tool. So here it is. It's the Vortex Crossfire II 2-7 by 32. 30 millimeter tube, like I said, fully multi-coated lenses, so you're going to have good low light transmission, good fog resistance. It's nitrogen purged. There's O-rings in it, so it's good in weather resistance. Cap turrets, as you'll notice, it's kind of different. Some cap turret styles here. Take it off. One click equals half a minute of angle, up, down, left, and right. You got your speed ring here, 2-7, like I mentioned, and the speeds go from 275 up to 450. Now, if you're not familiar with a crossbow scope, this is a multiplex reticle, 20 to 100 yard markers inside the scope. So there's separate aiming points for 20, 30, 40, all the way down to 100. And what you do is you set your scope in at 20 with your speed ring set to your bow. Say your bow shoots 400 feet per second. You're going to turn the speed ring to where you think 400's at. On this scope, it looks like it's about 4.5 power roughly. Sight it in at 20, and then mathematically, all of those markers 20 to 100 are dead on. In my experience, and what I tell our customers is there's always going to be a little guess and check. So even though the math might add up, you're going to have to do a little guess and check. So the process after sighting in at 20 would be to step back to 50 or 60, take a couple shots using the 50 and 60 yard marker in there, and you might need to adjust it either up, down a little bit, or left and right. You shouldn't have to do that if you set it in properly at 20 yards, but that's the overall process. Some pretty durable flip-up covers here, Vortex flip-up covers. They look really nice. One of the things that's really different about this scope is actually the reticle. So traditionally, with most crossbow scopes on the market right now with multiplex reticles, your 20 yard marker is going to be the dead center. So if you're familiar with a rifle scope, it's the exact dead center of both up and down and left and right lines. In this scope, the dead center marker is actually 40 yards. There's two lines above it, 30 and 20. So your 20 yard aiming point is actually not the middle crosshair. I can't find any verbiage or any reason why they did that. Perhaps it's just to introduce something different. Perhaps it has to do with the ballistics and getting enough space in there for the multiplex reticles to get that distance. But it's something different. The one thing I will mention about this scope is there are numbers next to each line indicating what the yardage is. 20 has a little small 20 next to it, 30 has a little small 30 next to it, and so forth, all the way up to 100. Those numbers are very, very small. They are very tough to see, even for a young guy like myself. So if you're not familiar with it, And if you don't practice with it enough, it's going to be really tough to see those, even with the illumination on here. Let me turn it on to green. I don't have the battery in there, so that's not going to work. But they're very, very small. That's one thing that I have noticed. Now, they do have windage markers too. There's 10 on the left and 10 on the right. That's something that might be useful. You know, a lot of guys take their crossbow out of the box and think it's kind of like a rifle. You can just go out there and shoot it, but you have to know your crossbow. You have to know your weapon. And I like to take mine, and I shoot a lot with mine. I mean, I burned through 2 sets of strings already on mine. Just getting to know it, getting to learn it, getting to feel it. So maybe next time it's a windy day out there, go out and play with it. See how far you're shooting left or right, depending on your crosswind at 50. You know, because when that deer steps out, when that whatever you're hunting steps out, and it's out there, you want to know how much you need to hold over, especially for the windage. I mean, there's a lot of wind resistance on those arrows, despite how fast some of these modern crossbows are shooting. So that's the Vortex Crossfire II 2-7 by 32 millimeter crossbow scope by Vortex. I'm sure we'll mount it up on a crossbow here and get some test shooting in with it, but I wanted to open up the box and give you a little first look on it. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the crossbow content on this channel, please feel free to like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, head over to crossbowexpert.com, view all of our custom crossbow packages, accessories. We'll have the Vortex scope on there for you guys to check out as well. Thanks.